Hello.
Hello, hey, hi, good evening.
Good evening.
You are visible as well as audible.
Perfect. That's helpful. Thank you.
We'll just wait for 3 more minutes and then we shall start.
Sure.
Just.
Such elevators have been installed in foreign countries, which helps cyclists climb high mountains.
How is the weather in Pune?
Pune is currently raining. I mean, drizzle more of than rain, I would say. But yeah, it's good.
Typical Pune weather.
Yeah,
I heard that this time there was pretty much large amount of rain, right?
yeah. Some places it kind of rained heavily. Like little less than the cloudburst, I would say, but then it was okay, manageable. Some places where people had encroached more into river regions and all. I mean,
Yeah.
went down, but I mean, we can't blame the nature for that. People
It's
created homes. Yeah.
but again there's I heard there's a lot of cementization of the roads, right? Because of which the water is not penetrating and there's a lot of
Actually, if you ask me, I stay near a place. There is a nala which goes to the river, and it's like always fully flowing. So near Katrat side, I stay. So
Acha,
from
okay.
Katras Lake to the main river, there's this nala called Ambil Oda. So
Okay.
2019, it was havoc in my area.
I
Uh,
know. I was there.
okay. And this time around, even if it rained, it was like all smooth. So the flow what they created and the raised walls of the Nala also helped. So
Okay.
I mean, full marks to the management there. But and people also like this anti-encroachment drive also helped. There was obviously a UN cry because people wanted to have their own space. They used to tie the cattle in the Nala region, and that
Ah,
that went flow in 2019. But this time around, it was all clean. I mean, not even the roads were flooded, so it was good.
so better
Really good.
management in 19,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
might.
In this side, it was better management. From Katras till the city area, it was pretty good. I think it happened all on the Sinegat road side.
Ah,
So,
right.
and
Perfect.
I think
There,
there is this newly built bridge is also being done. So I think there is a lot of rubble is there and all those things. So that's the reason I think it would have gone there. Not sure.
perfect. Good, but it is good to hear the positive side that there's
Yeah,
better
yeah.
management and all the things taken care of over there.
Yes.
Perfect. Without ado, let's start. I guess we have our audience as well. So, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in for this particular episode of Fireside Chat with Mr. Omkar over here today, who is the lead or head HR at NielsenIQ, based out of Pune, right? First of all, again, thank you so much for joining in on a holiday and sparing time to enlighten how the entire work culture and things go move around in an organization with our learners and the audience over here today. So, a big thank you for you for tuning in and the audience as well. Again, this shows your determination towards absorbing all kind of knowledge which is flowing everywhere around the world, but you have made an effort to join in this today's session. So again, a big kudos to you as well to join this particular one. Uh, Let me give you a brief introduction about the guest today. So Omkar has done his BBA in IT from Symbiosis College. He has done his MBA, and I guess between MBA and BBA, he has also worked. So he had working experience, and his list of companies in which he has worked is immense. So he has worked from Verizon Software and started the career as a trainee game tester and then moved on to All Scripts, GS Lab, Hexagon, and then I guess you might have done your MBA, and then slightly your career started moving towards the HR, human resource part of the career post MBA, as you have done your MBA in HRM, and then you moved into KPIT and Birlasoft and Indiga Software, and right now where you are at Nielsen. And I could see from your profile over LinkedIn, I also would love to share your LinkedIn profile because it is very nicely crafted, and everyone would get to know what you have done in your in your previous organization. So it's crystal clear, your KPIs, whatever were your performance indicators as per your role, are very nicely mentioned in your LinkedIn profile. So it helps me to gather good amount of information what you have done. So one more addition to your introduction, you also are part of Panorama Art Studio, which is into photography. I guess that must be your passion, where you are pursuing that genre as well. Apart from your corporate career, you are also from past 10-11 years working into photography and enhancing your passion. So that's one more aspect, because generally it is just a question, what is your hobby, and I see very few personalities pursuing that hobby. So I could see that you have well catered to that part as well. So big kudos to you. And following to your introduction only, I would love to ask the first question, that like, you could sum up your journey in short, like why you did BBA, and then how was the journey for a couple of years before you thought that you would love to do MBA, and then how it redirect towards you being where you are today.
So, I mean, I wanted to get into a technical field earlier. So you can see that my first experience was into game testing. So, so when I started, I wanted to know how technique things works. I am actually a coder. I used to do Java coding and all those things. So like self-learned, not into like a fully, like it's never my curriculum. But then I thought of getting into, and then it was more of a black box testing. I used to, overnight testing of the games, log the bugs, and few games got released. My name is there in the credit list also in some of the games which are there in the market. So, and after that, there I could, get into things where I was involved into like kind of employee engagement activities and all those things. So it kind of generated interest for me to get into a formal education into management, and I thought let's get into a role where it can actually serve people. So then when I started learning more of I would say the bug of photography caught up, and then I started. It is my own venture, Panorama Art Studio. So we are into systematics and filmmaking and ad films and content writing, website content writing. We didn't go into corporate because we wanted to cater specifically towards arts, not into corporate per se. So it's still running, kind of little less nowadays after COVID times, but yes, it is still up. And then so after that, I did my BBA. After BBA, I worked with Hexagon as executive search. Through Hexagon, I was with Allscripts and GS Lab. So it was more like a recruitment kind of a job where I got to know more of functions of the entire organization, how things work, how actually I can navigate myself into the senior management of an organization. So that was one of the areas I kind of loved working with. And after that, I gave my CAT, so I got into in search for MBA. After 1.5 years of experience almost, and then during MBA, one of my first condition was I will be doing internships. I didn't want to sit in the classes and just do it. So first year I very sincerely attended, and second year onwards I started working as intern in different. So I was working with like few companies like in Pune itself, like 2-3 months kind of internships, and then finally I got a chance with KPI. It is more of a placement. So again, there I joined as a recruitment executive. Then because I had my previous experience, it kind of helped me. And after a year, there was an opportunity, a very courageous decision. I would say that I got an opportunity to work with campus hiring. So me and my manager, just two of us were there, and we had to set up the entire campus hiring process, layout, like completely. I mean, campus hiring was happening earlier also, but then we had to revamp the entire process because we wanted to go paperless. So we wanted to, restructure up. So I designed a program called as PACE. So it's like Program for Academic Collaboration and Engagement. So basically that was the turning point, because there I learned something about program management and project management. So I actually, when I started working with campus, my main job was to not to come to office and attend the colleges and meeting the deans, kind of sell this program to them and make them understand how it is important for the students, that it is in line with KPIT's business. So it was more like an elective we used to offer. And like most of the colleges we found were more like, it was autonomous colleges, I would say. So
Correct.
where they can offer that course, and it will be more of a plug and play resource for us. So we used to go in the 7th semester, hire people. Those who are hired will be taking up that course, and when they come in the next year, like once they complete their engineering, they would be more of a plug and play resource for us in our business. So our training time reduced. So the concept of ROI came in the picture there, and it worked fantabulously. So I worked there for almost 3.5 years as campus recruitment, almost 4, I would say. So 4 batches I hired for KPIT and ran that PACE program. And after that, I got an opportunity to work with KPIT itself within a different unit as HRBP. So
Okay.
HRBP is a business partner profile in HR, where I will be working as a bridge between employees and business. So I will get an understanding about business as well, like the CapEx and OpEx and all those things, and wherein I understand the employee side also, where the concerns and queries can be solved. So being that bridge there, I got an opportunity there when KPIT was taken over by Birlasoft. So my business went to Birlasoft. Automotive business of KPIT side went separate. So I was involved in harmonization of bands. I was harmonizing of the policies. So I was among the team. So I got that opportunity. And after that, I thought, let's get into something which is a smaller team where I can build things. And then I got into Indicus. So KPIT Birlasoft was actually one company. So almost 6.5 years I was there. And then when I went to Indicus, it was like almost 40 people company, where from scratch I had to write down the policies, set the processes, get the recruitment place in, and then we grew. So when I joined, it was a 25 people company. When I left the organization, where everything was set, it was planned exit, like 2 years I would be there and then set up. So you can see that tenure also is almost 2 years there. So, and then I got an opportunity with Nielsen, where I am currently working with. So NielsenIQ is an amazing firm, and I would say it's currently placed at Great Place to Work in India, and
Yes.
we are among the top 50 best places for professional services. So I would say that proudly that I am a part of a team which is a great place to work, and who is making the entire firm as great place to work. So we are around 1,500 people in technology, 500 in Pune, rest in Chennai. So, and I am catering to technology vertical of the organization. So whenever we see that, the pride about having NielsenIQ badge on my chest is, whenever we see NielsenIQ, you will see that if any one of us Google about it, I think all of you know about NIQ. It's not new for you. This brand is not new. 100-year-old organization. It's amazing legacy what we carry. So even if I search my Google results for Lok Sabha elections, you will see ECI via NielsenIQ.
Correct.
So that's the pride I take, that it is reaching every single household, and not just via this. Every single FMCG product what is being mapped in India, we are trying to put it into right data, so that the manufacturers are helping. And I think this is why I think we are connected, and people will try to understand more about how and what all things we are doing. So this has been my journey, and it's great. Hasn't been a single Monday where I felt I don't want to go to office, or I don't want to log in for day. So it's kind of keeping my teammates, my people who are there in the office, whom I am tagged as HR to. So they keep me motivating and creating something new. So a lot of things we are doing here. A lot of unlearn happened when I joined NIQ. Completely different processes, completely different insights I got. So it's a great journey so far. Almost 2.5 years now.
Perfect. I mean, you have exposure to both the kind of companies, like a company with 25 employees and a company around 1,000 employees, right? So a bigger brand as well as an emerging brand, you have worked with both. So, I mean, I'll dive in deep to much more different arenas of questions around this. But one thing what I would want to understand from you is at the time of hiring in a bigger brand versus in an emerging brand, what is the difference in terms of the new recruits, what they look up to in the candidate? Like a bigger brand might be looking at some different angles, that these might be the characteristics what a candidate should have, whereas an emerging brand would be looking at a long-term goal, right? So what is the difference, and how should one prepare for an emerging brand and a branded company? So, like, what's the difference, and how would you think?
I would say when I'm working with a bigger brand, there are some set processes, and I would want someone who will challenge the status quo. So whenever there is someone coming in, I would want them to think innovative and make sure that we are building a better process. And so, example, I know that, okay, I want an answer as 10. So there are different ways to get an answer as 10. So I would like to see whether you are going a traditional way to like add 2 5 times and then reach 10, or you're trying a something different method to reach that number. So more innovative. So being in a product company, I can see that more innovative is what I would look for if I'm hiring someone in my organization. Though currently my role is not into hiring, but I am involved in a few interviews where I get to know more insights about people. So that is the element which my hiring managers or even I as an HR would look for, that how innovative you are when it comes to an organization like NIQ you are getting into. But when it comes to like a smaller firm, when I was earlier interested and working with, so there it was more like what are different things you know. So example, if I want to hire someone in NIQ, there is a set process that, okay, I would need a Node.js developer to develop something like this, right? I know that. But then there is someone, when I'm looking at my previous organization's experience, I would like to see what are the different ways you will come up with and what are the different skill set you can bring on the table. What is your learning capacity? Because we may have to do that project in a completely different way. So one of the project we were working in my earlier organization was for a Japanese firm to identify what is the content of a dish, like a bowl, and accordingly I will bill the customer. So it was image processing. So what are the different ways? And it has the sky's limit. When you come across the technologies there, what are the different approaches you want to take? And then the prototypes used to happen in and then we used to have those parties also, so that everyone can identify with different what all things there in the bowl. So how you want to look at your career and shape, you want to get into a smaller firm where you can build the things from scratch, or you want to get into a firm which is the things are already there, you want to challenge the status quo and build something on your own. So it's like ultimately what matters is how you are going to sell yourself in an interview, right? And then we have to play a little smart depending on the company and their requirements and what all things they would be doing in the market. So smaller firms, I can show a canvas of how it can be done. And when it comes to a bigger firm, I would say that, okay, I am aware about the processes, what are the different practices I follow, what are the different approaches I follow. Maybe if you have an exposure towards agile, that would be more useful in both the firms. But then towards a bigger firm, it is more inclined, like people will be interested. Okay, then you will understand how the process as a developer you are involved, and then it will help you grow also in the organization. That when you are an engineer, you would be doing something which is told to you, but when you want to become a senior engineer, people will look up to you. You will be more of a mentor, you'll be seen as a mentor, and people will ask you for questions. You'll be dealing with a lot of more complex problems. When you get into a managerial role, things will be even different. Maybe if you don't want to get into people manager role, you will get into something which is like a principal engineer, where you are core techie, and then architectural roles, wherein manager will go into a delivery kind of a role. So two different pathways, how you want to shape up your career, and that decision need not be taken right now. You can take it on the go, because things will keep on changing. Sometimes you will get frustrated with people. You don't want to build a team around you, and there are some people who are more of people person, like, so they will be good with managing people. There are some people who are good with talking to machines. So it's up to you how you want to shape up your career and see yourself.
Perfect. But so to summarize, and what I have understood from your answer is, smaller companies look for arena of skill sets. They want you to know everything and get things done, right? Whereas big companies would want innovation. They want you to unlearn the traditional methodologies and want to get out of you what new you can do.
Yes.
And by keeping this in mind, wherever a candidate is giving an interview, they could use these insights to sell himself to the company, right?
Definitely.
So perfect, makes sense. Now I would love to understand what are the, I mean, I know that you are not into hiring, but you know how the hiring works. So what are the general typical mistakes what the candidate does in terms of giving an interview? I mean, in technical or in terms of the HR round as well.
I have seen people don't read about the organizations where you want to pitch yourself. It's not to kind of soften my ego, but then not mine. In general, anyone who is taking an interview would like to hear good things, and not just good things. Someone who's taking an interview would like to know that you have learned about that organization, you have studied about that organization, did the right research about that organization, because it's very important that where you are going, do you want to see it's a shake hand interview. Is not a company who is going to give you the job is on your top, and then you are coming as someone who is seeking the job kind of thing, right? So please feel empowered. People don't feel empowered when they give interviews. Ask questions, ask the right questions to the right interviewer. People don't ask questions when there is a opportunity given to people that, okay, do you have any questions? Maybe most probably at the end of the interview, people say, no, I don't have any questions right now. Why? I mean, later on, people keep on asking a lot of questions, and then it's very difficult at that time to create that entire environment again and answer those questions. Ask questions. Maybe you can wait for the right moment to come, and then you can ask questions. But do ask questions. Ask about technical expertise, what they will be getting. So, example, if I'm a candidate, I would like to ask how my growth path would be in the organization. What is interviewers' experience in the organization for whatever time they have spent in the organization? What are different tech stack I can use in the organization, right? These are the things. When you come to an HR interview, you can ask what are the different benefits, what are the different policies, what are employee-friendly policies, ask for hybrid work policies, transport facilities. If it's a relocation you are expecting, so example, I'm in Pune, I'm getting a job in Bangalore. I don't know anyone in Bangalore. I would like to ask, do I have a initial few days of accommodation available? Do I get a transport? What are the different reimbursement schemes? Do you have any tie-ups with PGs? All those things should come. People don't ask questions, and then it's difficult. What are the different employee, not just benefits, what are the activities happening in the office? I'm a photographer. I like to get into photography. Do you have photography club in the office? I'm a trekker. I want to get into something. Is there something like a employee group which goes for trekking? Ask these questions. So read about the organization, know what they do. I would say stalk people's profiles on LinkedIn, what all things they're posting. Glassdoor reviews may not be ideal ones because they are biased. I mean, I have seen this. People, I would say that those atrupt atmas who do not get right things in the organization come out and yell on sites like Glassdoor, right? So be unbiased when you are looking at this. And if you are looking at some companies, is it the right employer for you? Like companies look for the right candidate, candidates should also look for the right fit for my employment. whether I will grow in that organization. Is it the right people? Is it the right culture I should be looking at? Because ultimately, not just money, what matters most is the good night's sleep. If I'm not going to get that, why shall I be employed with that organization? And people are hiring. There is nothing wrong in changing the jobs, right? You are being hired, you are not being bought. So there is a difference. So please attend that. And then don't, like I said, don't underestimate yourselves. Don't be overconfident about an interview. Be real. People try to impress. You don't have to impress, because today you impress, I get some 15 to 30 minutes, 45 minutes for a person to judge. Sorry to use this word, but that's how a recruitment works. Anyone who is in the interview, candidate is judging, the hiring manager is judging, right? So in those 30 minutes, you try to impress, and you actually come on the floor and you're completely different, or even a little bit different there, here and there. It's a very tricky situation the company and you get into. So things do not go well, and then you have to see the exit route. We don't want to look at that. We will look for something which is a longer period in the organization. Also, look for something where, I mean, changing a job, the reason should changing a job should be learning. Money can be an initial ask, because no one wants to work for free, and no one will give you work for free. But then learning should be your motivation to change a job. What is my learning going to be? Money could be possibly, I am looking for money, but then it should be on P2 always, not the P1, right? So that is also, I've seen people ask, shopping for offers, backing out with the, like, even accept. So it's like, for a recruit, I'll tell you what pains. So my recruitment team works for some candidate, keeps them warm for 90 days. On 89th or even 90th day, the candidate says that, okay, no, I'm going to join some different organization, right? So for the hiring manager, that person is waiting for 90 days. Again, if someone wants to be hired as a backfill, I have to wait for 90 more days. That's 6 months. So be ethical. I'm saying there's nothing wrong in rejecting an offer, right? That's the reason it's an offer. You can accept or reject, right? So we have to be very ethical. And if you do not want to take it up, right, say upfront with your high, head you're held high, and then you can say it upfront that, okay, I don't want to take, I have a better opportunity. With careful, all the discussions I had with my family members and my mentors, I do not want to take this offer. And say that as soon as possible if you do not wish to take that offer. And money can be one of the reasons to change, take a better offer. Anything which is better can be a better offer, right? Money could be better, designation could be better, location could be better, learning could be better. Anything can be done. So these are some common mistakes I'm seeing that people take during the hiring process. And during interview, right now, I think I'm seeing that a lot of interviews are happening virtually.
Yes.
A lot of fake candidates also flow in. We have some mechanisms at our end, which can be curbed at the same point. Having a good connectivity. Sometimes what happens is some technical stuff, right? Today it's pretty cloudy here, so even if this entire thing goes off, I'll have to join from my mobile. Try to be in good coverage area. Try to be well prepared before you go for an interview. Take deep breaths. Do some meditation before interview. That will calm yourself down. Because if your performance goes down, that is going to impact your. I have seen in fresher hiring, when I used to see, people used to wait, right? I mean, when there is a campus hiring used to happen, people used to wait a long time. So since morning the interviews are happening, people do not eat till 5 p.m. and then they crash in an interview. So eat moderately, have good amount of water, keep a pen and paper ready. Do not try to copy things when you are in an interview. Do not try to switch windows and try to find answers online, because that is not true you. You have to show your true skills, true colors, so that you are placed in the right band, right level, right salaries. So these are the things I would say that we can avoid.
You have covered my 2-3 questions in one question's answer. So it's very wonderful to know all these insights. One more addition is the technical aspect. Like so, general audience over here is learner in terms of data science, analytics, and AI background. Like it would be a mix of audience. One is freshers who want to get into this industry. Second is early experience people, like 0 to 5 years of experience, and they want to migrate into this industry from different background, like from sales or commerce or finance and other portfolios. They are upskilled. They already know Python, machine learning, Power BI, Excel, machine learn, other tools as well, SQL and all. Now, how important would the portfolio be or the experience? Because see, now if a fresher is there, obviously he doesn't have any kind of exposure to real-time projects, right? Everyone would sell real-time projects, but it would not be real-time projects. It would be some kind of open source data on which they would work. But again, like you said, the same thing could be done in a different way, right? And some creativity could be shown with the existing answers or existing solutions to the questions. So creating a portfolio to demonstrate in terms of a technical round in an interview for some kind of entry level analytics career path, how important is it, and what do they look up to? Like, because generally what would happen is, again and again we try to tell everyone is, just don't keep the common projects. Like in the data world, it's like hello world, and everyone would keep a Titanic project or the same old common projects what would float around the internet. There would be very few which would be very good, and they would take an extra mile and then download the data set from the government websites. Like you already are doing election data analysis, and that data is already, lot of part of data is already available over the internet. But there would be very few who would take an effort to get those CSV files and create a very wonderful dashboard and float it around GitHub or LinkedIn. I would want you to tell how important that is and how differently they are prioritized, and how the entire scenario around the interview changes if the portfolio project is good.
Yeah, I am interested into Power BI and dashboards. Like personally, I love seeing data visually. I think we have some question also about HR analytics, so I would like to combine both.
Yes.
So yeah, so how matters is, so if I see an Excel sheet with a lot of data there, it's very difficult for me. But when I want to see the analytics, I would like to see graphs, bar charts, pie charts, all those things. So there is one very interesting page on Instagram I used to follow about India in pixels. I'm not sure how many of us follow this or maybe have seen this page, but there is only one thing they do. They pull data from government websites. Maybe if you are online right now, you can just have a look at it quickly and see how they present it. Right? It's just always all the posts, what they are showing, it's about India maps and on various points. So they pull data from different government sources and they just show it like simple. Like today I saw in one of the posts that how many vegetarian people are there in India and what is the percentage.
Okay.
It's as simple as that, right? So, and there are so many problems statement. You just have to keep your eyes and ears open. So many problem statements you will see that you don't have to write hello world programs, right? So you can do something which is like, to few months back in my area, like few friends of mine and I was working together, and we have literally solved a local transport PMPML problem. And it is a real-time problem. We worked with PMPML authorities, the Pune local bus authorities, and we have sorted it out. It helped me building a bus route from the nearest metro station to my office also. Same model I applied there. It was just done in a jiffy, right? In three weeks time, actually a bus is running from my office to metro station. So this is how real-time problems can be solved and can be addressed. So don't look at the existing data or maybe existing problems in a different way. That is secondary. First, try to solve a real-time problem, which is, you are seeing that and it can be a problem in your own life, in your own house, right? It can be anything, right? So if, let's say, if there is a financial, maybe you want to apply something, can you develop a model which will predict your expenses in next quarter? This can be a easy problem you can cater to, and you can show this to your family first, that yes, this is what I have. If you're staying alone, this will help you in big way, that you can plan your finances accordingly. Anything which you are seeing, simple expenses, that you put your logic, you put data together, and you have a solution. And you are skilled. I'm not skilled. You are skilled with those tech stack. You can definitely write something which will build something. And then simple, see, as an interviewer, for me, it is, I do not prepare for interviews. I will look at the profile and I will ask one question. Please tell me something about yourself. And that is the time when I will glance at your profile. And then I will find something interesting, what you will talk about, and I'll start building story from there. I will weave stories on your input. As an interviewer, it is my, it's kind of a guideline I follow, that I will talk 20% and I'll make you talk 80% of the time. And for that, you have to give me input. If you start giving me yes, no type of answers, it's very difficult for me to build something which is on that. And then the interview becomes dull. Then I lose interest in you as an interviewer. So for that, you have to make your story interesting in an interview. You have to show something which is interesting. I read books, I like music is a very boring answer because everyone gives that. But then if I tell you that, okay, I am a rider and I have rode from Pune to Arunachal on bike, this is something interesting that will catch my eye. So this is how your project and portfolio also should work. What different you have done? Oh, this is a very interesting insight. Can you tell me more about it? This is an open-ended question I will ask, and then you will start telling stories. Their communication doesn't matter. I mean, how it matters is how your thought process and how your flow of thoughts has been. Right? It doesn't matter if you make grammatical mistakes there. It doesn't matter how you are coming and telling me the answer. I know English is little overhyped language here in India because we feel that someone who talks in English is superior. No, doesn't matter. How your thought process has been, it matters. It doesn't matter if I make a mistake while talking. Mistake is happening because you're not confident. That's fine. How you have put that thought and how it as graphic has come up, that will matter me more when in an interview. When you are sharing something which is, so maybe if someone can just put in the chat that what is the most interesting topic you have, we can talk about it, right? So what is the most interesting topic you felt that, okay, you should give an answer or you can find a solution? You just put it and try to find your own answers. So these hackathons, right, they will give you, most of the times they will not give you a problem statement. They will tell you a theme and you have to find a problem statement. You have to come up with a solution and then you have to present in your own way. Consider each and every single theme of your life around you. Transportation, it could be water solution, it could be simple. If you want to build your house, how will you put your expenses? What will be the cost? What will be the time? Everything. See, you just look around, you will find a problem statement. Because yes, there are a lot of problems, and problem need not be something which is which has to be grave and very simple problems. If I want to prepare for an interview, what all things I should cover and what all the skill set I should look at. Put it as a problem statement and create those storylines on your maybe graphic, or maybe keep it as a project. In Python, I think that, okay, I am at maybe 3 out of 5. I want to reach 4. Problem statement, put it in your story. That's how I think you can build a portfolio. And interesting topics.
Correct. Completely makes sense. I mean, it is in the end the chain of thoughts, how it is flowing in the candidate's mind. That is what is being looked at. And with respect to portfolios, it could go really well if it has a tricky point over there. Like what you have mentioned is very nice. Even when I interview for any kind of role, I do the same. It's like, introduce yourself and we'll just look at the piece of paper and we'll find something interesting. And then the next question would be asked based on that. So you need to have one North Star over there in your resume, which you want the other guy to ask question around, and then that should be it. The entire interview would now flow. The ball would be in your court, and the entire interview would go according to what you want rather than what they want. Because in college, I used to remember in mass recruitment, whenever a big company used to come in, they used to ask some typical questions around oops, which generally everyone used to just rote, not understand, because that's what they would ask. And it would be very difficult if you don't know them. And if you are from a non-CS or IT background, then 100% you will not know them. But if there is something by chance interesting in your CV, then they will not ask those questions to you. You will be able to drive. So this is a very nice point what you
And
have.
another thing is, see, like I was saying in my previous our question, right? Don't underestimate yourself. Everyone has a USP. There is a unique selling point in everyone's resume. You just have to highlight it and talk about it. Every person is unique. We say it, right? Every person is unique. Then why can't you have your own unique selling point? You have it. You just have to put it in the right place so that it is highlighted. Interviewer asks question. Then it's okay. It's my home pitch. Let me hit my century. That way it should happen.
Correct. Perfect. Now there are two aspects around it when the learner or a prospect or a candidate feels little bit demotivated around. If they have a year gap, like there would be a lot of people who would prepare for some banking exams or IAS, and then they would want to get into IT. So they are little demotivated that how would I cover my gap? Or there would be maternity breaks. They would work in some IT or bank or any other, and then now they want to have a restart in their career. So we have very wonderful examples of such women who have started their career after their maternity break as well. But again, they are slightly doubtful at the beginning कि ये year gap कैसे cover करेंगे, right? This is an aspect. And second aspect what they have is, I am from a non-IT or CS background. Would this data world accept me? So how would you address to these two questions?
Okay, so when you are I had gap. Okay, let's come on this ground. I am an engineering dropout, and I happen to like, see, if you see my very soft career, that's somewhere around 2008 where I was dropped out, and then after that I did my BBA. So it's okay to have gaps, and especially after COVID times, people are understanding that okay, you could be laid off or could be multiple reasons, right? Family emergencies, medical emergencies, anything, any emergency. People, I mean, pre 2020, people were very strict on the gaps. But after 2021, 2022, people have mellowed down. A lot of bubbles have burst. So having a gap, it just you have to justify. If you are convinced about why that gap was, no one is going to question more about it. So okay, I know that I had a gap. It's very tricky for a fresher to justify the gap. Okay, especially when you are, let's say I start my career, or maybe in my 2017 I got into my engineering, and then 2021 I was supposed to end, but it did not end because of XYZ reason. That XYZ reason has to be very strong, and you should be convinced that why that reason came, and why, and that has to be told openly in an interview. That even if the interviewer did not, so as HR or interviewers are very that nazar set ho jati hai, right? When I look at the resume, I look at, okay, 10th 2 years के बाद 12th 4 साल के बाद engineering 2 साल का masters अगर रहेगा तो it's very easy for us to identify that. And if I see a 3 year, or maybe instead of 2 I see 3 or 4 years, I see that okay, there is some issue. Okay, tell me. People try to hide it by not mentioning the years. Don't do that, because if you hide it, our antennas immediately go up. Like, what is wrong? Why person is hiding this? Openly talk about it, because it's anyway past. You don't have to hide it. And if you say that it's a personal reason, especially in front of HR interview, say that reason. Technical interview, you can pass that question that okay, there was some personal reason I could not complete, or maybe engineering on time. But for HR, should know. HR, lawyer, doctor, don't hide anything. Because if you hide and then later on it comes out, it's very difficult. Okay, so career gaps, especially when it comes to second career, I would say, after maternity people, there are some companies who are driving some activities to hire second career women. So I have taken, let's say if I'm a woman employee, I have delivered a baby, I spend some full-time job to grow that baby up to 3-4 years. Now the baby is independent, someone else is taking care of them, and then let's say in 5 years gap, I don't know how to grow. Maybe I upskilled myself by doing some course, and then I'm getting into interviews. Reach out to companies which are looking at hiring second career women. There are so many NGOs who are promoting and awarding companies who are helping second career women to get back into the profession.
Wow.
I mean, so, and simply in technology world, you will see less women overall. And
Correct.
now most of the companies are focusing towards how we can grow women leaders, because there are very few women at the top.
Correct.
So we want to, any company, any IT company, I would say, not just my organization, any organization would look for a balanced workforce, right? I mean, gender wise, I'm saying. So many companies would be definitely more than willing to take people after maternity break, right? Similarly, men don't get disheartened. Breaks are okay. You just have to justify that I was working on something else. I had to go back. I was working with my father on farming. That's also fine. No problems at all. How you are able to crack my interview matters, right? But when it comes to freshers, it's a little difficult because currently the market is not as opened up for freshers. You will not see big companies also hiring in thousands of numbers. So I think the companies are little being cautious because a lot of global events which are happening around. I think by November, December, when the big event of US is coming up, after that things will get certain and then things will pick up. I don't see, I mean, when I'm hiring right now, I'm seeing people coming with counter offers. So anyone who has skills has the demand, right? They're always in demand. You don't have to anyone who with an excellence. Well, rancho wala dialogue I always keep on saying to people, excellence ke piche bhago, baki sab hota rahega. So if you are good with your skills and you're confident about it, no one is going to stop you.
Perfect. Completely makes sense. Now, you told a little bit about the fresher hiring scenario right now. So, moving on that side itself, I mean, everyone would be really excited to just understand, does NielsenIQ hire freshers?
We do, but then that depends on business requirements. Not like every year kind of a job for us. So we decide and go with some set of colleges where we have tied up with. So yes, and then it is more of an internship model, which is there. So people get like in their final year itself, they get onboarded depending on their colleges, because autonomous college define whether they can go for a 1 year internship or a 9 months internship or 6 months internship. So accordingly, we hire people in batches, and depending on their performance during the internship, we give them a PPO, and then they get hired full time on same day, like a batch. So last year we had hired good number of people. This year I have not seen anyone. Maybe next year we may look at something.
Perfect. Thank you for that insight. And so we have few learners. I could see their name. So I mean that includes me to ask one question to you. So there are a lot of HRs who are now learning this analytical skill sets, Power BI, W, Excel, be wonderful with Excel because they have to compute a lot of data. Now, do you have any relevant case study which you might have worked to digitalize the HR part or something what they could use as a portfolio project?
Like analytics way you are asking?
Yes, analytics related to HR analytics के around कोई portfolio का around project which they would be able to relate up to.
I mean, I worked on a project internally to put things on a Power BI with a team, because I am not a developer in that skill. But I would say that if you want to take up something which is, let me think, in real time, performance management could be one of the places where we can look at HR analytics in a bigger way, because that is the talent, and I want to make sure that my talent is on a dashboard. Like I don't have to look at every time I look at Excel, I look at filters and all those things. But when it comes to talent management and movement of people organization. So skill mapping and performance management. These are two things where we can have a lot of things.
Perfect. I mean, just to add little more use cases around it. So performance is an aspect, as well as there is a lot of timesheets. So every domain gets a lot of timesheets. Just to have a wonderful dashboard around timesheet is also something what I was working on, just to understand which person is spending time where, or what is the most tedious task which is consuming a lot of time, and then maybe we could automate it or build some tool around so that they don't spend a lot of time around it. So that will also
maybe you one interesting example happened during COVID times. There was a very big trend happening about staycations when a little bit opened up and people started working, going somewhere and working from there and all those things, right? People were getting money, they didn't know how to spend, so people started doing staycations. There in my previous organization, we had done something like used to find people where they are locked on from.
Okay.
Just as a curiosity, we are not going to ask them to come back or anything or come to office and all those things. As we just wanted to see how people are comfortably and is it related to my performance. So example, if someone's at staycation mode, is it helping them to show a better result in their work? So it was internally done by managers and only and senior leadership there. People didn't know that they are being tracked, but then with the IP thing, one of our managers took this concept, and then so can we do something like this? That okay, if people are going abroad, can we do all of us? We were a small unit, right? So can we go all together and work somewhere else? So example, if I take my entire team to Goa, I book a resort for 25 people, 30 people, 40 people, and I ask them to work from there. Like, this is our, now you work kind of thing. So, I mean, it could not happen then because obviously budget, those things. But then that was one of the interesting parameters where I could say that, yes. So that's the reason if you see a lot of leadership offsites happen. Why it does not happen in office? Because they go in an area where you will see you go close to nature, you try to build that, the team building activities happen, and you go away from that typical office environment, and then it helps. It does definitely help. So you can build something around that.
Absolutely. This is something really good just to measure performance from where you are.
Yeah.
If you are not at your base location, does it increases your performance or it degrades? It's a good insight what you might have gathered. We are already open for questions, everyone. So there are questions coming in. The next question I would want to ask from the questions is how things are moving in the Gen AI region.
Gen AI is a double-sided sword. If you don't know how to navigate around, it's very difficult. I mean, if you ask me, I am also using ChatGPT a lot in my daily work. And we have been given some instructions from our organization that how do you want to use this in your work? Like Copilot, we are open to use ChatGPT, drafting emails. So there was a very interesting article I read that there was one lady who was a painter, and she had to do the household chores also. And so what she did is she started giving input to the AI modules that, okay, start painting like this. So this is something we should avoid. I would say that those which are mundane tasks, which can be automated, should be given to something which can be automated. And where you need an input, like brainstorming cannot be done. So example, if your manager asks you to do something which is innovative, like there is a problem statement, how will you do this? Put this question to ChatGPT or anything else. The Gen will not give you. It's going to give a machine answer, not going to give you a human answer. So try to do something which needs your touch, should be done by your touch. So uh, paintings cannot be done by machine. I mean, they can do it, but then give them a wall painting. Don't give them to draw Gajagamini. You have to
Correct.
do it by yourself, right? You have to do. I mean, painters are painters because they have human touch. If you want to do, there is a machine which is a paint. I mean, a machine which is a wall painting machine, like a printer, right? The vinyl flex printer. They paint walls.
Yeah.
Will it help? No. I mean, it's no fun there. Why do you want? Then why do we need humans? Why do we need to give interviews also? You start like, I'll hire a chat GPT instead of having a coder, right? So that's how Gen AI things will move. It will not move as fast as they are predicted, and we are seeing videos on YouTube because human touch will be required. And I do not have, see, always technology which moves will never put you people out of jobs. I always say this example that when there was a Dhobi, washing machines came, every household, at least in urban areas, have a washing machine.
Yes.
Are Dhobis out of job? Probably few. But then did technology create jobs? Yes.
Yes.
I mean, there are manufacturers and maintenance people of washing machines. So technology will always create jobs. It's just how you have to upgrade yourself and be employable. There is no problem of employment. There is always a problem of employability. Whether are you coping up with the speed? If yes, you are in. If not, you may have to upgrade yourself. I will not say you're out. So a friend of mine whose father, who was a draftsman in one of the reputed automobile industry, uh, at the age of 50, 52, 53, he learned AutoCAD. He was a
Wow.
draftsperson. And at age of 52, 53, he learned AutoCAD. He extended his career till 60, 62. I guess 2 years of. Later on, also, he was a draftsperson for the same team. And after retirement, he was put on contract and he was all good. So if you don't see, even if at the age of 52, someone can learn AutoCAD, we are pretty young and we can definitely keep learning a lot of things. So the new
Absolutely.
things will keep on coming and we'll have to just keep on upgrading.
Correct. Change is necessary everywhere. You have to cope up with the change and tune yourself. Perfect. Wonderful. Next is, so there's just scope of one more question. If anyone wants to post, please go ahead. The next question is: does reference plays a vital role in getting interview caller?
No, I would say. I mean, it will help. And there is a very interesting thing which we follow in our organization. We ask people, do you have a friend in office? I mean, not just for the referrals. Do you feel friendly in office as a culture? Reference will work when maybe it's a very tricky situation. If you are trying to send me a reference profile and I do not have an opening, why will I interview? That is also one. And when it comes to referrals, recruiters will pick up referrals profile earlier because chances of hiring that person, because okay, if I know Anirudh, I will definitely pick that person up for my team because I know them, I know how they work. Probably Anirudh is my previous company's ex-colleague, and I'll definitely bring them in. But another benefit of hiring a referral is people don't back out. So now, if I refer you and Anirudh is joining my organization, Anirudh will have some obligation. How will I face Omkar if I drop this offer? So reference, yes, is always useful in recruitment times, but it should have a relevant skill set and mapping. In technology world, if I send someone because he's a good friend of mine, I send a BCom profile, it will not work because the opening is not there. So you have to find out the right open role is there, and then yes, you can. Referrals will play a vital role in getting an interview call because multiple profiles will be there. Recruiters will pick up someone who's referred by an employee.
So you might get a priority in terms of just interviewing or
Yeah.
getting something.
I mean, sometimes it is like first in, first out, because the employees also keep on following up with recruiters. Sorry, I had referred this profile. What happened to that person? So it's at least get a call. Understand, getting to interview or getting selection is a different process, but at least to get into the first 10 calls could be a possibility.
It will not assure a smooth landing of job offer for you if you have a referral, right? Perfect.
Yes.
Last question before we end this: how to negotiate salary?
Market research data, get insights about how things are happening. Don't look at what your friends are earning on the same profile. I mean, uh, different companies have different grade system, different companies have different valuation, different companies will have different ways of giving salaries to people. Product companies, service companies, even the way of giving appraisals differ in different companies. So even if I get paid very high in initial times, probably there is a possibility that next 1.5 year, 2 years, I may not get a good hike because I'm already placed. What everything will matter is how the parity is maintained in the team. So look for something which is worth you, and then if you are trying to negotiate on your salary, I would say you should know your worth and you should know what company you're applying to. And for knowing worth, you have to go to LinkedIn, get those insights. Glassdoor is a good tool. What all things you want to hire. Don't keep very don't over expect. Make realistic demands, and for that you know your financial planning, how you want to save, how much you want to save, what is your actual need. So there should be some non-negotiable parameters in your salary, like this much I would need, and over that whatever comes as my bonus, right? Bonus in the sense, bonus in the negotiations. So example, if I'm looking for a 10 lakh rupee salary and the company has a budget of 8 lakh rupees, you can say that okay, there are some x number of amount I need to have because I am sending it back to my family, I'm building a house, I want to have this one xyz reasons, and then that's the reason you can ask for. If you're joining early, you can ask for joining bonus. Some companies give that. So if not direct salary, you can get some x amount as joining bonus also. That will come as a one-time investment in you. So ask for that also, because then again that joint bonus is going to get spread across a year, right? So for as a company to cost. So if that example, if I'm looking for 10 lakh rupees as my salary and 1 lakh rupee joining bonus I'm going to get, I effectively earn 11 lakh rupees in that year. So think on those lines also. And being at 10 lakh rupees, my possible appraisals also will come in right places. And instead I get an 11 lakh salary, my appraisal will be less. So you have to mix that balance. So yeah.
You have to do the market research well.
Market research and your own wealth. Yes.
Your own worth. It's very important to negotiate your terms. Perfect. Your words are very important to us. We had a very wonderful and interactive sessions. The questions were also very good, and the answers were much more better than what you have given. You have not given me a lot of opportunity to ask you questions because you yourself have answered a lot of questions what I and everyone wanted to know. Thank you so much for your time over here. Before we end, I would just share my screen quickly because the India in Pixels page which you mentioned, I just want to confirm from you, is it this one?
Yes, someone called Archie. Yes. So
perfect.
See the way they are putting dashboards. I somehow personally loved this. If you are interested, look at it, how they are putting it, how they are collecting data, and how they're presenting it. I mean, I think one of their posts is about mangoes across India.
Oh, yes.
So you will see a lot of things here. I don't have any personal interest in this, but something which I felt like I should share because here people are into analytics and data, how it can be shown, how dashboards work. So that would be something good.
No, absolutely. This is really amazing. It would really help everyone to. I mean, what it takes to start a page, something of this. This could be your portfolio page, right?
Yeah.
The guy has 190,000 followers, and it's a very wonderful gist of the insight. Even if you just follow, you get to know your country in a better way. What are the stats, right? Because you should speak data if you are willing to come into this domain. So this is a really nice page. Even I was not following. Ashrish, I guess the guy's name is. Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much again for joining me today, everyone, and you, Mr. Omkar, as well. Looking forward to more such sessions. And again, it was a great one. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. All the best.
Perfect.